There's a difference between making decisions based on peace of mind and ones based out of fear. And when people make it out of peace, usually it's because they've taken the time to investigate what it entails, what it means for their life as a whole, not just based on, say, a job or a responsibility or something like that, but how it all connects together. And a lot of people don't realize that you have many areas. I would say most people have 8 specific areas in their life. They have the area of their home and family, they have their health and well-being, and their finances. Those are the top 3. But then there's areas like where you contribute. This could be at work. This could be at somewhere where you volunteer. Growth and learning is another really important area of our lives. That's something that we have to continually be doing to make ourselves better for what we're trying to accomplish in life. Also, friends. Some people we all need friends, but not everyone has time for them. We all need enjoyment, time to unwind and decompress, and not everybody has time for that. So a lot of times people are just focusing just on home and work, home and work, home and work. They don't have any fun. They're chasing after money. They're just getting by on what they know, and they're not considering how they can make their life better, which requires growth and learning. And then they often don't pay attention to their health, their well-being. And that's not just physical, but that's like, am I mentally stable? Am I emotionally stable? Those are really important things, because one of the top things I talk to people about is their state of being. Because whatever we're going to do, we're going to do it out of who we be. And so many times people are going to try to do something before they've become who they need to be in order to do it. And so I named off like about 7 of the 8, but the most important area that I have found that caused the most fear and worry, concern, and hopelessness in their life is the spiritual aspect. A lot of people don't realize we actually are spiritual beings as well as natural beings. We're both, but I think a lot of people live from their natural being, and they don't realize that all of the solutions, all of the answers, all of the creativity, and all of the wisdom comes from the spiritual aspect. And so when we're going to do something, we need to get to know that part of ourselves. I say this is because even though I've had 3 decades experience in leadership and business ownership, entrepreneurship, training people, certifying people in different things over all these years, I've seen patterns of what tends to be what I call the deal breakers, the things that take people out of the destiny they were intended to have. And so whatever your spiritual belief system is less relevant than understanding that you do have one. And it's a very internal thing. So the external is all the things we're doing. The internal is who am I really, and how am I processing it? What I'm trying to do, am I just trying to look outside of myself, take opinions, find out what other people are doing, or am I getting really in touch with who I really am at my core, what I really carry as far as what are my gifts, my skills, my talents? And if I am more self-aware of the truth about that, then making decisions becomes a lot easier. Now, I've talked about decision making in different arenas. At work, transitioning from one thing to another, maybe you're going to make a move or get a different job. And whatever the case may be, start a family. Do I even want one? It's hard to know what the answers to these things are if we don't realize that all 8 areas of our life are intertwined. They're connected. And when we decide to do something in one area, it actually takes from another or adds to another. So what you want is harmony, alignment. You want to be able to make a decision based on how it affects all areas versus just the one area that you're trying to figure out. I don't like the idea of trying to figure things out. I think a lot of people think that I have to figure things out. And actually, I think the answers are very obvious when you become very aware of what I'm talking about, the spiritual aspect of who you are and what the truth about what you're trying to do is. And so you want to become a truth seeker, I think is important. I have been a truth seeker for many, many years. And when I say that, there's no such thing as your truth and my truth. If that was the case, then there really wouldn't be any truth, would there? There is always an ultimate truth. And however you find that or tap into that is up to you. But I think it's worthwhile looking into because I believe at our core, that is where all the solutions, all the answers, all the inspiration and clarity really comes from when we're trying to do other things in our life. And also it helps us to see how all the things going on in our life, we can begin to pick up and discern if it all actually fits or not. So when you're trying to make a decision, you want it to fit your life. You don't just want to make a decision that's great over here, but makes you risk something important like your relationships or even if your financial situation or your health or your well-being. So just remember when you're trying to navigate your life and make high stakes decisions, you want to consider all the different areas of your life that it could affect come from within yourself.